Hello everyone, welcome to Dungeons & Dragons News, otherwise known as D&D News. It's a hashtag, people, get used to it. We actually had someone, first of all, I'm Greg Tito. Hi, how's everybody going? Everybody going to the store? Yeah, I had someone ask on Twitter why it was D&D, and that's why it's only really because of the hashtags. The ampersand messes up hashtags and for tracking and stuff like that. So rather than fight against it, we embrace it here at D&D, and so you should too, although it is always D in my hearts. I got a lot of news to throw at you for what's going on in the Dungeons & Dragons world. There's tons going on. One of the first ones I want to talk to you guys about is what I am wearing. That is right. We have this Dungeons & Dragons t-shirt that I'm modeling for you right now, which I'm just going to show this real quick. It is available now at ThinkGeek.com. It is a website. We also have a graphic for it, so you can see it in more of its glory instead of looking at my stupid mug. It is there. It is $19.99, I believe. A pink ampersand design on a grid, very futurist looking, and I think you should check it out. We're always looking for more ways to get D&D apparel out to you. ThinkGeek is an awesome partner, and they made this on their own with no prompting. They were like, this looks cool, and we're like, yes, it does. Make it so. So go check it out if you dare and or can. Quick housekeeping note, Girls Guts Glory, they were going to start a few weekends ago actually, and we're now scrambling to find a different space for them to stream from, but we'll have more details on that coming soon. We miss Kim Hidalgo and the rest of the crew streaming on our channel. We will get them here as soon as we can, and or when it makes most sense for the story. So more information coming down the pipe for that. As well, we have some fun Twitch chat commands. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can put in chat commands here in the chat and you can roll some dice. So some of the things are exclamation point D100, exclamation point D20, D12, but one thing to know, these dice rolls, they're only for subs, people who have subscribed to the channel. So those of you can basically make dice rolls happen at will, but there's lots of other stuff that you can do to get information, say exclamation time to see what time it is here in the Wizards of the Coast thing. That's helpful for folks who are not in the Pacific time zone to see when our streams are starting, because we talk about all of our streams happening in PT. That stands for Pacific time, in case you haven't figured that out yet. You can do exclamation point uptime to see how long the stream has been up, as well as exclamation point DCA for when the next Dex Gamer action will be occurring, as well as exclamation point HG for the next Heroes Graveyard. We'll also have like polls and stuff that we can do in the chat as well. But lots of fun stuff going on there. Thank you to Pelham Green for setting up all those fun things in our bot. Lots of fun. Neverwinter Lost City of Omu is out available on PC. I've heard some whispers that you might learn about another release date coming soon for the PS4 and the Xbox One later on this week. I'm not going to tell you exactly when, but it is coming and it looks really exciting. So Neverwinter, if you haven't checked it out, you totally should. It's a way to jump into the world of Dungeons & Dragons, experience some of the fun of the cities on the Sword Coast, including Neverwinter, but also most recently the Tomb of Annihilation storyline. You can go to Port Nyanzaru and get some quests there from Volo, who is a wonderful cad, really. Check it out there at playneverwinter.com for more info. It is free to play. You can jump in at no cost to you other than the download bandwidth, which is substantial. I'm not gonna lie. Morton Kamen's Tome of Foes is coming for a wide release on May 29th. You can get get it anywhere then, but you should check it out in your local game store on May 18th. It will have the standard cover designed by Jason Rainville, as well as in May 18th, we'll also have the alternate cover available, which is designed by Vance Kelly. That design incorporates a lot of the elements that you see on the Twitch channel right now, including like the gold and blue ampersand and things like that. So if you're interested, make sure you go into your local game store and purchase it on May 18th. Let them know that you want that copy. We've heard from a lot of folks that it was hard for people to get that for Xanthar's Guide to Everything, the special cover. So make sure you communicate to them that you are going to buy it so they know exactly how much the alternate covers to purchase and get in the store so that you don't get left in the lurch, if you know what I mean. We recently announced Warriors of Waterdeep. It is a new mobile game coming from our friends at Ludia. It's a free-to-play, turn-based, tactical RPG type thing coming for iOS and Android. It looks really cool. Check it out, warriorsofwaterdeep.com, and you can get the Laeral gift pack from Laeral Silverhand, who is a badass, I believe is the proper term, also a demigod in some ways. So she is the current open lord of Waterdeep. She will give you quests, and you can also trade stuff with Mirth the Moneylender and Durnan from the Yawning Portal. There's 12 classes, 9 races, 6 slots for weapons and other things. So tons of fun. Looking to come out in the next quarter, maybe like June, July. I don't know. I can't give a specific date, but it'll be coming in that general time frame, middle of the year, and I can't wait. Our friends at Beamdog also announced that Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition will be releasing on Tuesday, March 27th. That's not that far away, people. That is 1 week from today that you can get your hands on Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. And if you don't know what that game was, it was a seminal RPG isometric from the early 2000s. And what's cool about what Beamdog is doing, they are basically making it so it improves the UI, it works on all current machines, but it also will accept old saves and modules. People used Neverwinter Nights as kind of a calling card for designing digital RPGs for many, many years. All that stuff, all that content that was created over the last 15 plus years will all be usable within the new Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, which I think is badass. Also, Siege of Dragonspear is available on your tablet directly. You don't need to get another purchase, so you can get it on Google Play and Apple and the Apple App Store. What is Siege of Dragonspear, you ask? It is basically Baldur's Gate 1.5. It takes place in between the two stories, and it is original content created by the Beamdog team. You can get a collector's edition. There's not that many of them left, but you can buy a collector's edition now, and there's a link for that that Oba Crazy just put in there because you're a good person. Thank you, Lauren. All right, so that's the kind of the high top level stuff. I want to get through some of these fun articles that were written about Dungeons and Dragons in the last week. There were a lot of them, more than most weeks actually. So got a bunch to get through. The first one I'm going to talk about is from comicbook.com. Our friend Christian Hoffer wrote about Morton Kamen's Mayhem. Did you guys check this out last week? Last week, actually, it was just yesterday, last night, in fact. The team here streamed a battle between Emi Tanji and Adam Lee with 2 new, very high-level monsters from Morton Kamen's Tome of Foes. They duked it out. It was amazing. I haven't been able to watch it all the way through myself, but I heard nothing but good things about the battle. It was tense. Nobody knew what was going to happen until the end when Emi Tanji and what was she playing? The Suberix? Suberix. Suberix? Suberix. Yeah, we're gonna need a pronunciation guide for this pretty soon. But she used the abilities and shut down Adam Lee's character, which was the
Bind Blast, something like that. Made him stupid.
Made him not happy.
Made him not happy.
Yeah, and he couldn't cast any spells or anything like that, and that was the way that monster was able to win. Emmy's going to go on to the next round of the bracket, and we've got next week Shelley Mazzanoble and Dan Barrett? No, not Dan Barrett. I put it down here so I wouldn't forget. That's why I have this in front of me, people. I need to be able to refer to it. But I'm scrolling all the way, and it's not letting me do it. Hold on. It is Matt Warren. That's right. Matt Warren and Shelley Mazzanoble, and they're in the Gith bracket. So they'll be playing as high-level Githyanki and Gith Zerai, which is going to be amazing. We shall see who reigns supreme next Monday, and then eventually Chris Lindsay, as Dungeon Mastering all these matches, will have one reign supreme, and I think there's actually a crown, which Bart Carroll had on his head briefly during Dragon Plus last hour. So check that out if you're interested to find out who will win and what they will look like when they win. So awesome that Christian Hoffer went through all that and talked about it on comicbook.com. I think that's amazing. SciFi Wire also wrote about something really cool. No, just kidding. No, but I talked to the author there about some of the stuff about Dungeons & Dragons having its best year in 2017. To the best of our knowledge, Wizards of the Coast purchased this company in 99, or purchased Dungeons & Dragons from TSR in 97, so all of our data is really crystal clear going back to then, but we don't have as much good visibility on what was happening in the TSR years. All that being said, all those disclaimers, all those asterisks on the data, 2017 was potentially the biggest year in Dungeons & Dragons ever. Definitely since 97, and it is potentially ever in the world, and it's just kind of amazing. So thank you to all of our fans who have been able to do that and create the, I don't know, just the zeitgeist around Dungeons & Dragons now. It has a lot to do with streaming, has a lot to do with people being able to watch and participate and get access to what's going on here with the Dungeons & Dragons team. So it's just amazing, and we can't wait to see more and more coming in the years to come. Yahoo. Remember Yahoo? Did you guys ever use Yahoo as a search engine? Well, they still write articles. They still have like a pretty big editorial arm. And they wrote about how Joe Manganiello shared photos of his time at GaryCon when he was on social media. He did, he's basically letting his geek flag fly. Different than how other celebrities approach going to Comic-Con or things like that, where they are there for a panel or to promote something. Joe just goes because he wants to play. He wants to experience it. He was able to play a game in the house that Gary Gygax created Dungeons & Dragons in. We talked to Ernie Gygax last year on the Dragon Talk podcast, Gary's son, and he described what it was like playing with his siblings, with his father, and coming up with some of the concepts and ideas behind Dungeons & Dragons while it was being created. So I've heard some stories about that house. I've never actually been in the house, and I think it's really cool that Joe, this guy who's been in movies, biggest movies from like Spider-Man to he's going to be in some of the new Justice League DC movies, that kind of stuff, TV like True Blood and things like that. He's the same guy who wants to go and hang out in Gary Gygax's house and roll some dice. I think that's awesome. So kudos to Yahoo for throwing that out there and making that, really understanding that there's a shift now in people that love and want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. It's everywhere. That just squirted back in my eye, by the way. It's amazing. All right, so Popular Mechanics also wrote an awesome article about how to get into Dungeons & Dragons, how it's more easier than ever. They spoke to some of my awesome friends, so Lauren Belanco at the 20-Sided Store. This is a store in Brooklyn, New York, that I wish was around when I lived there. I think they opened it up like a year after I moved away, so I was super sad, but I've since been back, and I love Lauren and everything she's doing there, and she is a great resource for teaching people how to play Dungeons & Dragons. They also spoke to Kim Hidalgo from Girls Guts Glory about what it's like to get into it. So that's awesome to see. I don't think, my dad had stacks and stacks of Popular Mechanics magazines when we were growing up. They all were all about schematics and all that stuff, and I would never think that it would be something that the outlet of Popular Mechanics would be writing about Dungeons & Dragons and how easy it is to get into it. So another just data point on the zeitgeist of Dungeons & Dragons happening here. Also, I wanted to shout out another friend, Cameron Kunzelman, wrote an article on Kotaku, the video game website, about a Reddit user creating a tool to help you figure out how far your character can jump. I wasn't able to actually click through to the tool itself. For some reason, it was blocked here at work. But it is an awesome thing that I have found is necessary. I have the jump spell for my halfling urban bounty hunter, and it says you can triple your jump thing, and I'm like, I don't know, okay, and I now need to figure out what my jump distance is, and this guy created a handy dandy tool in order to make it, the calculations is just that easy, and you can use it as a player, you can use it as a dungeon master. Just seems like a really great tool, but kudos again to Kotaku and Cameron Kunzelman for writing up this thing that I didn't know about, and it's just, again, it's amazing to see something like this pop up on Kotaku and get tons and tons of hits. I don't know if you saw from the graphic that we just put up, but it has something like 104,000 clicks since Saturday, which is just mind-blowing. That's something like as simple as that can get in there. So good stuff. Also, it was a good graphic with the jumping thing on there. I like that a lot. So I'm getting super psyched for Dice Gamer Action. It's going to be starting in 15 minutes. There's a really cool announcement that might be coming from one member of the Dungeons and Dragons Dice Gamer Action cast. I'm going to throw that graphic up here real quick so you can check it out, maybe make some guesses. What do you guys think? What do you think? What do you think it could possibly mean? I don't know. It's crazy. It could mean one of many things, but I'm pretty sure it's one thing that I'm not going to spoil, but it is quite amazing, and I can't wait for that person to talk about it when it gets talked about in just about 15 minutes. It's happening soon, guys. I can't wait. What is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, you might ask? Well, it is a idle game in which you can send heroes from the Forgotten Realms. So they have had heroes such as Minsk and Boo from the Baldur's Gate series. They have had heroes from Force Grey. So Joe Manganiello's character, Arkin, is in it, as well as, say, Hitch, who is Utkarsh and Budkar's character in there, two-year-old tall guy, Jamila, all the ones from Force Grey Season 2 are available in there, but also some fun things from different parts of the Dungeons & Dragons lore. You can all take on those characters, send them out on adventures. They kill monsters, collect their loot, and get XP all in real time. So you can kind of walk away, and it'll continue to run even if you log out and stop the program itself, and get that stuff, and you can level them up and optimize your team for going in the future. They have tons of content going through there on a weekly basis. They're introducing new characters all the time. It's available on Steam right now in early access. It's a super popular game, and I suggest you check it out, and even more so if you're a fan of Dice Gamer Action. All right. So another fun thing I want to make sure I get out there is Whiz Kids. Our friends at Whiz Kids have a new series of miniatures. It is this right here, the Monster Menagerie, Icons of the Realms, Monster Menagerie 3, Electric Boogaloo. But that means it is a booster box that comes just like this, and you can get them in stores, I believe now, if not in a few weeks. Oh my gosh, and look what I got in this thing. I got another Storm Giant. He looks awesome. They're bringing the Giants back because I think a lot of people really like those from the Giants Storm King's Thunder adventure. This one's got more of a blue hue to it. Very cool that is the biggest one that came from there. What else did I get in this booster pack? And for those of you, before I even glance in the chat about complaining about boosters, we did talk to Justin Zaran from Whiz Kids. What is this? This is a Gnoll? Yes, a Gnoll Flesh Gnoller. He looks really cool. But the booster box mentality about the thing is basically a necessary. Ooh, this one's a cool one. Tri-drone. This is a cool tri-drone. Ooh, he's got like spider limbs for arms right there. But it's the only way that they can figure out a way to lower the price point for these miniatures. So if they did these on a one-to-one buy what you get type thing, they would not be able to keep the price as down as they are. The only way they can do it is in bulk and in things like this. So super popular minis would cost much less because they'd be able to go through, but like ones that people may want would be very expensive. So they like this booster box because it keeps the price low and you can always get something that you may want. They also have the Nolzor's miniatures that are unpainted, but you can definitely see what you get there, and that's a different line, which I think makes a lot of sense. This guy is really cool too. This is the Mesoloth. Oh, very good stuff. All right, cool. That's a pretty good haul for my first booster box here, and I can't wait for more to show up in game stores. You can check them out. I believe they said the release date was, if not now in game stores, it'll be in the next week or so. So go check those out if you're interested. Each one of those boosters is $17.99. Oh no, I'm sorry. Each one of the bricks are $17.99, and it contains 8 booster boxes. Each booster box contains 4 figures total, 1 large or huge, 3 medium or small, and there's 44 figures in this line, randomly sorted in there, which is pretty awesome. And there's also some good player characters in there, like the Aasimar and the Triton, which were featured in I want to say Volo's Guide to Monsters as playable races, so go check those out. Our friends at D&D Beyond are making an app a mobile app version of the amazing web tool that has been out for many months, many moons. It is under testing right now, so if you're interested in testing out the compendium content for D&D Beyond, you can do so now in each of the individual stores on iOS and Android. Some links will be popping up in there pretty darn soon, but they're working on also getting improved character sheet layout and everything into the app itself, but right now they want to make sure that the compendium content, basically like the core rule books or any purchase that you've made in the app, makes sense in a reader format. That's what they're really trying to nail right now. And you've got an awesome code that you might be able to use. It is called Invisible Wand. I is capitable and the W isn't capitable, and it's all one word. Invisible Wand will get you 25% off a single purchase in D&D Beyond. So if you've been holding back getting Xanathar's Guide to Everything, or you want to wait until Morton Kamen's Tome of Foes comes out, you can use that code for a $25 off a single purchase, which I think is pretty cool. And all the stuff that you purchase in the app will also be usable in the web and vice versa. So feel free to jump in and use that code right now. It's good stuff. Terraspin Candlekeep, Tomb of Annihilation. They're basically recreating the Tomb of Annihilation board game, which was created by Whiz Kids, in a digital realm. It's in Steam. It is awesome. One thing about them, they entered into the indie. It was the Twitch indie something, and everybody was supposed to vote on Twitch, and the winning game was going to be available free to download. But what they decided, since everything was completely even in the voting, they're just letting all those games be free to download for a limited time. So if you're interested, go check that out. You can get it on Steam as well, but it's all Indie Amplifier. Yes, thank you, Lauren. You're a good person. Indie Amplifier. You can get that in Twitch. You can actually buy it through the Twitch marketplace right now, and or get it for free from the Twitch marketplace right now. Good stuff. Congratulations to that team there. That's a really fun game if you like a tactical sense of dungeoneering. It uses the 4th edition adventure system rules and board games, so it's compatible with all those, the actual board game itself. And this game in particular has a lot of replayability. I think there's 29 different scenarios you can do. You can replay them at different difficulties, get more loot, and figure out better ways and more efficient ways to get through the content. So it's tons of fun for those of you who like to play those type of games as a solo means, if that all makes sense. Dragon Plus has been out for a long time, this new issue, but you should go check it out because there is tons of great content in there, including an article by our friend Ethan Gilsdorf, who wrote about how streaming D&D can provide, can add something to your game. Lots of fun stuff there. There's also, one thing I forgot to mention, which was on Twitter last week, but our friend Matt Forbeck, an very prolific author, is returning with the Endless Quest series of books. I don't have any assets. I don't have any links for that ready to go. People don't even know I'm talking about it, but I just happen to remember and make sure you guys knew about it. Did you read those Endless Quest books when you were a kid? They're basically like choose your own adventures, but they're D&D branded pretty heavily. They're coming back. Tuned for a younger audience. So go check them out. I believe it's being published by Candlewick Press. And you can find out more information about that at their website. It is good stuff. The D&D Beyond code, again, was Invisible Wand. Capital I, capital W, all one word, Invisible Wand. 25% off on a single purchase on your account. So go check that out. All right, I'm going to rush through some of the fun stuff before we get to Dice Camera Action, episode 86. I can't wait to see what Simon sounds like. I think Chris has done a lot of preparation for this episode, trying to figure it out himself. It's episode 86. Simon says 85 was crazy. Everyone had piled into the cart, and Strix convinced Meathook to go towards death. And there was some Zone of Truth happening with Izek, as well as all of the backstories of the families and why they can never be together. Oh no, that's why Strix and Dieth can never be together. I can't wait to really find out what happens here with Simon as he is now a real boy and will finally have a voice. That's going to be kind of amazing. There's lots of other fun stuff. Stay tuned after that for Anna Prosser-Robinson to do her Lost Mine on Misclicks. She's Dungeon Mastering for the first time. Go check it out. We're hosting that here. We have C-Team hosting at 4 p.m. Pacific time, as well as Maze Arcana Inkwell Society coming at you at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Something you should definitely check out. If you're interested after this episode of Dice Camera Action, you can tune in to Waffle Talk at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be hosting that as well with Power Score RPG and a couple other friends discussing the episode and why it was so impactful for them or not. That is really awesome. And then it leads directly into Holly Conrad's Dungeon Mastering, Trapped in the Birdcage, which is just been fantastic. Holly was sick last week, so I'm hoping she's now recovered fully and we'll be able to continue with episode 4 of that. We're hosting Critical Role at 7 p.m. On Thursday as well. And then on Friday, we have Beamdog coming in here, Tales from Candlekeep, and Roll20 presents Tomb of Annihilation with Dungeon Master Adam Coble. Can't wait for that. And then Encounter Roleplay is back on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. The teaching topic was economics last time. They were talking about how global economics work in the fantasy world. And as well, and this is very important for all you D&D nerds out there, it doesn't necessarily need to involve all of the math that you think it does. You just need to kind of think about it. And that is helpful for me because I am not as good with the math. So that was super helpful for me. And then Heroes Graveyard is also on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then finally, next Monday, we are starting off another crazy streaming week with Craft Hags with Danny Hartel starting at 12 noon. Then followed up with Dragon Talk. I'll be doing 2 interviews. Me and Shelly will be doing 2 interviews. One with the first one at 2 p.m. Pacific time will be with Alpha Stream, otherwise known as Teo Sabadia and Claudio Pozas. They will be talking about playing Dungeons & Dragons, I think in different countries in South America. So I can't wait to hear about their experiences there. And then at 3 p.m., I'll be talking to B. Dave Walters, who is in the Maze Arcana family. He'll be playing in them as well as playing with a bunch of folks at Geek and Sundry. So I can't wait to talk to the both of them. And then it will be followed up directly with Shelley and Matt Warren battling it out in the next Morton Kanen's Mayhem on 4 p.m. Pacific time on Monday. And then we will also have some fun hosting with the Loading Reading Run crew doing their Dice Friends with Dale, Graham, Kathleen, Paul, and Beej, having a lot of fun. All right, I think that's it, everybody. I'm super excited about episode 85, Simon Says, and I'm going to leave it with you now. I didn't get to talk too much about you guys here in the chat, but it looks like all of you are super excited, and I can't wait to see it all happen. It is going to be amazing. So that's me. I'm out. You can follow me at Greg Tito, or if you want to find information about this amazing game that we're all talking about and playing, go to DungeonsandDragons.com or download Dragon Plus on your apps. On your apps? That's not how it works. I'm going to go and eat some apps because I'm actually quite hungry. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you. See you next week. Enjoy Dice Camera Action soon.